Γεια σας, καλώς ήρθατε σε ένα ακόμα νέο επεισόδιο του Alan Wake. Στο προηγούμενο επεισόδιο ότι είχαμε ολοκληρώσει το πρώτο κεφάλαιο του παιχνιδιού, το οποίο λεγόταν Nightmare, και τώρα πάμε βουρ για το δεύτερο. Τελειώνουμε εδώ τις ρυθμίσεις μας και φύγαμε.
Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it! God damn it, Alice! Now, she's missing. Alice? Alice? I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at. But the cabin had disappeared.
Taken.
Ωραία ταινία το Taken. New York!
Βρίσκω ξούρα.
Άντε και γαμπρός. Ήταν ήδη γαμπρός.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up. Hey, handsome. This is gonna be a long night, but these shots are turning out great.
I guess you're gonna need that coffee then. I'll go put it on.
Κάποιος μετακομίζει ακόμα.
Coffee's on.
Great, thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Ψάχνε πόρτες, ψάχνε πόρτες.
Oh, hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly. These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body.
It's true what they say about the fall and the sudden stop at the end. I'd lain here in the snow while the lurid chain of scenes that had led me here kept playing in my head. A rerun of my own private snuff movie. A memory of my corpse. Alone at my own wake. Thinking in metaphors again. The femme fatale was gone. Only a sour taste remained of the kiss that killed me.
Cheater.
This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now. My wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Πολύ δυσαρεστική φωνή.
The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan? Alan, please check the fuse box.
I'm right here. I'm on it, honey.
Please hurry.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay. Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I know it's stupid, but it's just... Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
Γενικότερα καημό έχω να γράψει ωραία είναι αυτή σε video game.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Thank you for testing the lights, Miss Weaver. Everything seems to be fine.
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing. I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd locked me up. Excuse me. I need to take this. Hello?
Alice, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
Nope.
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor.
The light's on! The deputies, they don't understand. They won't listen to me. I need it to be bright in here. Thank you, man, thank you. Hey, you're all right. You're a good guy. Don't let anybody tell you different. You know, I shouldn't even be in here. The cops, they got it all wrong. See, sure, I beat him up, but I wasn't drunk. I mean, I wasn't drunk at the time. I only got drunk afterward. Okay, listen, you gotta listen carefully now. Here's the kicker. That wasn't Danny. No, sir. It only looked like him. You wanna know who it really was? I'll tell you who it really was. It was a goddamn space alien! I know it sounds like something a drunk would say, but believe me, I wasn't drunk then.
Believe me.
More beat.
So,
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power. The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street. Deputies Mulligan and Thornton had to deal with two intoxicated young men who were celebrating the completion of their Deer Fest float. Now, folks, We get this every year. I know it's exciting, the big day's almost here, but let's save it for the party and leave the gunplay for the shooting competition, huh? There's no point in getting all worked up yet.
Sounds like we're gonna get shot.
Ooh,
Pates.
More pages.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
I don't know. Πού πας, καλέ?
Wow.
Το τσέκαρες.
Ναι, αυτό έπρεπε να πάω. Α, δεν το έκανα.
Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Barry?
Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Ow! What the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Το τραγούδι που βάλανε είναι ωραίο.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
What the hell?
Sarah, I just wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently caused on their...
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my! Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story.
Money.
I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him.
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max? Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan. She even has a fan site dedicated to you. And she was very helpful when I was looking for you. Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car, just listen to yourself. What, you shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? What, are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice.
Do you
and
understand what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality, you're buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
All right, wait here.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure.
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster. You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No. This whole thing, listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Τσίμπησε από μακριά.
Σύνη μου εκεί.
Εδώ.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Thanks. Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
Thank you.
If you have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio mast. It's right below that.
Πάνω είναι.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No one asked you to come here, Barry. Either work with me on this or go straight back to New York. Your choice.
Στην αρχίδα εδώ. Θα είναι κλειδωμένα.
Γιατί και οι άλλοι.
Ναι, οι περισσότερες είναι είναι κλειδωμένες. Είναι στην ουσία πολύ linear παιχνίδι.
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al? Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her. This is not a goddamn debate, Barry.
Θα πιάσουμε
I'm
φωτιά.
going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. You're my best friend and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Το υπηκό.
Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again.
Archie!
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Κρίμα που οι μπαταρίες δεν είναι energizer πλέον. Το πρώτο παιχνίδι είχε energizer μπαταρίες.
Βολέψουμε το lithium.
Τοποθέτηση προϊόντος.
Βολέψουμε το lithium. Γεια σας.
Hold down the fort. I'll be with you in spirit every step of the way, Al. Walk through the door now.
Να χάσαμε μία.
Σκορποχώρη δεν της δίνει.
But he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry. Barry had the keys to the car he rented. Wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest. I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Στο καλό σου.
Κιουράκια!
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like?
My plan? You make it sound a lot more organized than I ever seem to manage. No plan, really. Just taking the atmosphere. Okay. I'm getting a little too rickety to do much more than that, you know.
Oh, tell me about it. No sack race for us older gentlemen, huh?
Yes, exactly, Pat. But I'm going to check out the parade, of course. And I'll be one of the pie contest judges, too.
Well, that takes a different kind of constitution.
Oh, yeah. It's my kind of exercise.
Now, Doc, seriously, you're in pretty good shape, though. You're the outdoors type. I know for a fact you're an avid fisherman.
That's right. Matter of fact, just caught a heck of a largemouth bass early this morning.
But you're not taking part in the fishing contest?
No, not this year. See, Pat, I'm just not that competitive anymore. Now I just like to take my time and enjoy the peace of it. It's no fun if I need to worry about what I'm catching, you know?
Well, considering your track record, the participants are probably pretty happy you feel that way.
Well, Pat, that's kind of you to say.
Κόνια!
Μέλα! Μόνο της άρχισαν να κουνιέται.
Τι?
Μόνο της άρχισαν να κουνιέται.
Πώς?
Πάλι.
Ποιος τι έπαι? Τα πέταγε παιδάκι, θα πάρ' δεξιά.
Night Springs. Ελπίζω να μην σου τις πάνε αυτά που σταματάω όλοι τώρα. Είναι πολύ ωραία αυτά τα μικρό τέτοια. The Night Springs.
Το δεύτερο επεισόδιο.
Εδώ λίγο.
Crime and punishment. The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
Had it coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face.
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. The white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison. You got me.
I don't understand any of this.
And you never will. Don't worry. Maybe you'll see me again, Agent. Maybe in the mirror.
Α, δεν κλείνει με αποφώνηση.
Αυτό δεν χρειάζεται αποφώνηση.
Δεν μπορώ να φανταστείς πόσο τρελαίνομαι για αυτά. Δεν έχει κάτι πουθενά, δεν βλέπεις κάτι που να γυαλίζει. Έτσι, γιατί είχε εδώ ένα δειγματάκι. Είχε ένα σπίτι.
Gazebo.
Ναι ρε φίλε, θέλει λίγο ψάξιμο σε κάποια σημεία. Wait, what? Κοίτα πόσα pages έχει αυτό το επεισόδιο. Και εδώ έχουμε, μάλλον τυχαία είναι.
Τελείως.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Κάτι δεν μ' αρέσει με αυτή τη Rose, έτσι όπως το θέτει.
Τι για τη Rose μιλάει, νομίζω μιλάει και με τη γυναίκα του Alan Wake.
Τη γυναίκα του Alan Wake τη λένε Alice.
Α, δεν πρόσεξα.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page.
Dear gods.
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury.
Rusty, hang on! I'm coming! Please, help me! Anybody? Help me!
Καλά, μπορείς να περιμένεις τώρα.
Πας βρε.
Άρα τα πράγματα. Δεξιά αριστερά. Δεξιά αριστερά, λέγε.
Αριστερά. Να δώσω.
Mr. Wake?
Το διάβασαμε πριν!
Oh, hell. It happened just the way it was on that page. I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must... The lights. In the office. I have the key. Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Whatever did this couldn't be far. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened.
Good boy.
Έχω λίγο έξω. Εδώ με αυτό τώρα.
Office. Στο office. Στο γραφείο. Γραφείο. Έχει άλλη πόρτα.
Μάλλον το γραφείο είναι απέναντι.
Να.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on. The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way, felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone.
Δεν θα ήταν καλύτερο να το φακώ.
Άρα πολλά manuscripts. Πολλά manuscripts.
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold light, I was safe. I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Πήδα!
Rusty!
Πας απ' την άλλη!
Ξέρω, θέλω να δω κλεμμένη πόρτα.
Σοβαρά τώρα!
Ναι, σοβαρά. Εσύ μου κάνεις το προηγούμενο επεισόδιο όλους τους ψυχαναγκασμούς.
Μόνο το πούμα και πάνω την κλείτωσε.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Please don't feed the animals.
Πού ρε?
Fishing. For those who purchase a park license. No way. Rusty, no! Never! Two bears and wolves! Never approached! Closer than 25 yards. That must be legal.
Πού είχε μέσα?
Leave your pet unattended. It is against the law. Remove any historical artifacts from the park. This includes even you may or even simple berries.
Πάμε τα κάψουμε και μετά πρέπει να πάω μέσα. Άλλο Rusty. Πάλι Έλα λίγο ακόμα θέλεις.
Lover's pick. Γόνα σου.
Ένα ξαφνικό.
Θα φάω ξύλο.
Είσαι τρεμίτσου.
What the hell was that? I saw from the window. I saw something.
Forget about it, Barry. It's just me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy. Ow, be careful.
Stay in the cabin. Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
Page. Εδώ.
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Ακόμη και να ζούσε δεν θα του το έλεγε. Το πιστεύω. Άμα έχει αυτή την προσδοκία το «Α, fairy tale και αυτά», τότε...
Από εδώ ήρθα,
Να. Για πήγαινε και απ' την άλλη να...
Δεν έχει κάτι άλλο.
Okay.
Πλάγα να όδο και εδώ.
Lover's Peak was at the far end of the nature trail.
Aha.
Yay!
Shotgun.
Supplies.
Το χάσει το flare gun.
Πολύ.
Δεν είχε flare gun.
Θα μπορούσε, άμα το έχεις, θα μπορούσε να το χρησιμοποιήσει στη μάχη με το Rusty.
Μάλλον όχι. Βασικά δεν θα μπορούσα. Το έχω κάνει.
Στον προηγούμενο το έκανες. Στον Τσάνκι, τελά.
Στάκι.
Στόκερ. Μεγάλο στόκερ αυτός ο Τσάκι. Στάκι. Oops. Μόνα σου. It gets me every time. Πρέπει να το κοιτάξω.
Έλα ρε φίλε. Έλα. Εδώ.
φρικτές οι χημικές τουαλέτες.
Τι είμαι στο μυαλό σου? Έλα ρε Αλάν, τρέχα. Ναι ρε φίλε.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell, Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
Ωραία, προφανώς εδώ μόνο για το page. Έλα ρε φίλε.
Μα πας εσύ να αποφύγεις πάνω στην τομπέλα.
Τι κάνει ρε?
Έκανα γρήγορη επίθεση.
Ρε μαλάκα.
Πήγαινε στο φως.
Μη. Πίσω. Να τρέχει και λίγο, καλά θα ήταν.
Κουράζεται εύκολα.
Φεύγουμε. Κοίταξε, θα βγαίνανε όπως στο Dark Souls, φαντάζεσαι.
Αυτά τα στάμινα είναι πολύ σπαστικά.
Κοίτα. Ωρε φίλε.
Ρούσκε.
Που να μην το τζάρα. Ρε φίλε.
Κύψε!
Ήθελα να πάω από εκεί να δω αν είχε κάτι. Γρήγορη ματιά.
Δεν ακουμπάς το νερό.
Δεν ακουμπάω το νερό. Μάλιστα. Φίλε.
Πόσοι!
Κάτω στην πίσω.
Λέρκαν!
Για ολόστιλα.
Πού το στείλ!
Στο καλό, είναι από τις σφαίρες, να φύγω. Μου φαίνεται τόσο πιο πολύ ώρα κάθομαι στο σκοτάδι, τόσο πιο πολύ έρχονται. Οπότε δεν έχουμε ώρα εξερεύνησης. Θα την κουπανίσουμε.
Στο Lover's Peak, αδερφές μου! Στο Lover's Peak!
Άμα έτρεχε και ώρας καλά θα ήταν. Όχι ρε πώς.
Fades.
I turned the corner, afraid of what the flashlight's beam might reveal. Suddenly, a roughly painted symbol of a torch glowed in the light. Behind it, hidden by a rock, sat a battered metal trunk. It was here for a reason. Packed with supplies, batteries, flares, ammo. Things you need to make it through the darkness of the night. Something left behind by someone who knew what I knew, and more.
I saw you.
Πολύ είναι και δεν έχω flare gun.
Έχεις?
Όχι.
Να σου.
Ωραία φίλε, κοίτα πως είναι.
Στο φως! Φύγε στο φως!
Δεν μπορώ, με στριμώξω στη γωνία. Γάμο το 4 είναι ρε φίλε.
5.
5.
Νομίζω 5. Κάτσε, τις μετράμε τώρα, πας.
Μάλλον ήταν και σε μια άλλη περιοχή κι άλλη και τους έκανα trigger. Να πήγα κοντά.
1, 2, 3. Τέσσερις.
Ο ένας πρέπει να είναι κάτι σαν boss. Έλα ρε φίλε, αφού κάνω dodge γάμο τη σου. Την τύχη τον πάρεσα.
Τουλάχιστον το πέτυχες.
Ωραία, δεν έχεις σφαίρες.
Δεν έχεις σφαίρες! Άρβα.
Τώρα, άμα πάω... Δεν θα βρίσκω τίποτα. Τα απομεινάρια του δρόμου, όπου τύχεται.
Πήγαινε από εκεί που ήρθανε.
Κάτι βλέπω δεξιά.
Τι?
Κάτι βλέπω δεξιά εδώ.
What the fuck is that?
Τι είναι αυτό? Α, χρονολογία δεν το... Μόνο για το θερμός ήρθε εδώ.
Μόνο. Μόνο.
Page.
Agent Nightingale didn't want to be in Bright Falls. These little communities revolted him, and he didn't like the trees or the coffee. He now knew that impossible horrors lurked behind the storefronts and smiles. He desperately wanted to turn the car around and just drive until he passed out or ran out of road and booze. But he had a job to do. He had a rider to catch, at any cost.
Συλληπιτήρια. Άμα σε κυνηγούν και μπάτσι, συλληπιτήρια.
Ως αφότα πέρασε καθόλου.
Και μ' αρέσει λέει, it's an easy way to go. Πιο easy κατεβαίνουμε στα σπήλαια στην Κεφαλονιά.
get moving. More of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff. The flares will keep the bastards away.
Ακούς εσύ?
You can see them too?
Hell, of course I see them. Come on, we gotta move.
Why?
Because that's the way the story goes.
Yeah, but...
Let's move!
I lost my gun back there.
Oh, I've got a gun. Just keep that light steady on him.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
Come on, Wake! Better keep up!
Γιατί δεν σημαίνει μου το μαλάκα.
Θα βάλεις το μόνο του καραγιόζι λίγο.
Right up these stairs, Wake. Use the flares from the emergency box to hold them off while I get these boards off.
Give me the gun.
Yeah, no can do, Wake.
Are you kidding? Give me the gun.
No time for back talk. Hold them off, damn it.
Κατά τύχη. Πήγε! Ρε! Η κάμερα τρελάθηκε!
Κάτσε! Φύγε από τις σκάλες, ρε!
Oh, you feeling good now, all cozy and safe.
Πήγανε. Νομίζω.
Wait, where'd that one go?
Εξαφάνισα.
Better get ready. They'll be on us soon.
Lover's Peak. Παμ. Γύρουμε την πραγματική.
Last stand. There's more players here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming.
Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming!
That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake.
Γιατί δεν... Άντε μία ώρα. Το πάταγα και δεν άνοιγε.
Hold down.
Hold έκανα.
Γιατί σημαίνει μου λες να μετρήσω αυτό.
Ήταν σημάδι ρε φίλο τύπος. Όπου ήταν θερμός. Bye. Μπράβο. Ω γαμώτο. Και δεν που βρήκα να έρθουνε. What? Δεν αφήστε με να πάρω το θερμός.
Έχεις flare gun. Πάρ' τους όλους μαζί.
Καλός! Χοντρός! Και δεν μιλάμε πόσο θέλει αυτός.
Πάρ' το να με φλερ.
Τελευταία μου, δεν έχω άλλη.
Πήγε πίσω.
Έλα ρε μαλάκα τώρα! Μία ώρα να το σκοτώσει ο τύπος.
He doesn't give you the gun.
There's more players here. Get ready. We fight them as long as they keep coming. Give me the goddamn gun! They're coming! That's not how this goes. Get with the program, Wake.
Θυμίσου το θερμό πίσω.
Το θερμός.
Άστα αυτό τίποτα. Ρε φίλε, ποιον σκοτώνει μία ώρα!
Έναν, τέρμα, κάτω.
Ρε φίλε, αν είναι δυνατόν τώρα αυτό το πράγμα. Τι βλαμμένος που είναι αυτός ρε παιδί μου. Έχω βγάλει 2-3 από το σκοτάδι και το μοναδικό που δεν είχα βγάλει αυτόν πήγαινε και σκοτώνε.
Είναι μαλάκας! Σου πήγα και τη γυναίκα! Τι καλύτερο περίμενες! Απλά κόλλα δίπλα πιάσε να χτυπάνε αυτόν.
Κρατάω φλερ για μετά. Πάτους.
Το θερμός.
Ωχ, τρόφι. Είναι και άστοχος ρε φίλε, κοίτα τι κάνει. Άντε πια.
Πήγε!
Κοίτα.
Φύγε.
Και έχω δεχτήσει εδώ. Κοίτα, έχω σκοτώσει 3 από πίσω και δεν τους σκοτώνει. Κοίτα εδώ!
Τρέχα, φύγε.
Θα πάρουμε τρόφις.
Έτσι θα τρόφι, έτσι θα τρόφι. Πήγε!
Άντε φάτονα. Άντε επιτέλους. Ζαλάδα ο τύπος.
Where's my wife? I knew you were going to say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're going to bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her mouth.
Πανέξυπνο. Πανέξυπνο. Τουλάχιστον κρατήσου εσύ ρε μαλάκα. Oh. Σκότως τον. Πυροβόλα το στο καρύδια.
No! Come back here! I swear I'll kill you if you hurt Alice! Do you hear me? Come back here!
He had Alice. On more than one occasion, Alice had tried to explain to me how it felt to be afraid of the dark. To her, darkness wasn't simply the absence of light, but something more tangible than that. It was something you could touch and feel. Worse than that, it was something with a mind of its own, something malicious and malign. For her, things changed when they were wrapped in darkness. They turned into something else, something foreign, and nothing was safe or innocent anymore. I'd never really understood what she meant, until now. And he wanted the manuscript because he thought it held some magical power, but I had no manuscript to give him. I had to get back to Barry and figure out my next move.
Άμα σκοτώσεις κοράκι είναι τροφή.
Όχι, αυτά τα κοράκια θα τη βγάζεις στο σκοτάδι από πάνω του πάλι. Τα περισσότερα από αυτά.
What the fuck is that?
Πλάκα κάνεις. Καλά τρομερό.
It hurt like hell. I was stuck.
Νομίζω ήταν manuscript.
Μόνα!
Αμώ τώρα θα μπερδεύουμε τις traps με τα manuscript.
Έλα, αν το πλησιάσει λίγο φαίνεται. Μαλάκα, ούτε ο Μάικλ Μάγερς. Ο Τζέισον. Πώς λένε το Τζέισον από το Παρασκευή και 13.
Δεν ξέρω.
Πυροβόλατα. Τώρα!
Έλεος. Ούψ. Εντάξει.
Ναι.
Ψυχαναγκαστικό μου μωρό.
Συγγνώμη, δεν το κατάλαβες ότι... Λάμπει κάτι εκεί.
Τι σχολιάσω τώρα.
Μη σχολιάσει. Φύγε! Πήγε! Ή και αυτό. Είναι και αυτό μία προοπτική. Για περίμενε. Πήγε, πάρ' το δεξιά, λίγο.
Δεν μπορώ να μένω πολλή ώρα μέσα γιατί έρχονται. Πάω τώρα από κάτω. Πάνω.
Και πήγαινε πρώτα πάνω. Αφού ό,τι ανεβαίνει κατεβαίνει.
Όχι κάτω πάει.
Κατέβει. Ήτανε μία μήνυ εξερεύνηση.
Τι έχει εδώ.
Πώς ήρθε ρε.
The night had been one desperate situation after another. I was exhausted, and my body felt as though it had been chewed up and spat out. The flashlight was heavy in my hand, and each pull of the trigger sent a painful shock up my arm. But I was finally out of the woods, and things were looking up. That's when I heard the chainsaw.
Volhead. Τι ήσουν Volhead. Αν θυμάμαι καλά. Και πάλι δεν είμαι σίγουρη. Μπήκες μέσα. Και στο άλλο.
Ποιο άλλο, καρδιά μου, δεν έχει άλλο. Εδώ λες.
Δίπλα.
Τρέμας.
I had heard the plane fall. It made no sense. It was clear that it had just fallen here. It was very old and obviously hadn't flown in decades. Looking at it sent a shiver down my spine.
Κάτι από δεξιά. Πού είναι ρε?
Τους άλλους βράχους τους είδες?
Όχι.
Αυτούς εκεί κοίτα.
Όχι, έχετε μαλάκες. Ποιος?
Αυτό.
Δεν έχει κάτι εδώ.
Αυτό, Γιάννη! Δώσ' το μου.
Για δείξε μου.
Αυτό τι είναι?
Τι είναι, δεν είναι βελάκια.
Βέλος είναι!
Δεν είναι καρδιά.
Γιάννη, αυτό τι είναι? Βελάκια είναι!
Το και βελάκι είναι κίτρινο, αυτό είναι άσπρο.
Ναι! Συγγνώμη. Αυτό είναι άσπρο.
Ναι.
Αυτό είναι άσπρο.
Σου πω πιο κοντά να δεις.
Ναι.
Κοίτα εδώ.
Γύρνα το φακό. Εδώ.
Ο φακός το κάνει κίτρινο.
Εδώ. Αυτό είναι άσπρο.
Καλά, θα δεις.
Πας να με τρελάνεις, τι είναι αυτό που κάνεις?
Να. Πώς θα ανέβουμε εδώ όμως? Εδώ. Από εκεί έδειχνε,
Ναι.
Finders keepers. Πάμε.
Επιμένω είναι βελάκι.
Πάντως όχι εδώ. Εδώ ήταν απλά για να...
Ναι, αλλά με αυτό το βελάκι βγήκες εκεί που πήγες. Πάει για κατολίσθηση.
Φίλε, πόσοι έρχονται.
Το θέμα είναι που πας τώρα.
Εγώ αυτό λέω, γιατί χάθηκα λίγο. Άμα πηγαίνεις από
πήγαινε προς το φεγγάρι. Φεγγάρι. Crawling in my skin. Έχεις δίπλα σου.
Εντάξει, τουλάχιστον βρήκαμε το δρόμο μας. Γι' αυτό πάω κάτσε γιατί εδώ.
Τρέχα. Πίδα! Καλά, κατάστρεψέ το. Μην τα αφήνεις έτσι.
Πώς θα μου πω δίκιο να καταστρέψω. Oh, silver trophy.
The logging site was a mess. The modular office had been pushed off the cliff. Deputy Thornton climbed up from the wreckage excited, breathing hard from the exertion. Nobody there. It's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Bored, Mulligan let out a mighty snort. Hell, it's always weird, Thornton. Just a question of sorting out what kind of weird it is this time around.
Opa. Där var det. Opa. Opa.
Ajanger!
When Barry saw the darkness attack the visitor center, it made him a believer. The men Al said he'd shot, they hadn't been just locals on crank. Somehow the world had changed, like the channel had been switched without warning. You think you're watching a sitcom, and you're really watching a horror show. When the birds started attacking the cabin, Barry wasn't surprised, just terrified.
Και τώρα εγώ. What?
Αυτό ήταν όλο.
Όχι, έχει
σκάλα.
σκάλα ρε.
Μη με λολένεις. Έχουμε κάτσει τον δρόμο. Δεν ξέρουμε πού πάμε. Το κοράκι! Έχει και ένα πίσω.
Όχι, το πειράζει.
Καλά. The darkness,
Where's your face?
Το ήταν μόνο. Oh, rifle. Rifle.
Πάω από εκεί, πάω. Έλα τώρα.
Πιο simple. Simple.
Έλα, αλλά μου κάνε parkour, σε παρακαλώ.
Είναι πολύ ψηλός για parkour. Parkour από 1,60%. Watch your ass.
Κοίτα, πούλσο,
Φύγε.
Φύγε ρε βλάκα.
Πέθανες. Ηρέμησε!
Τα νεύρα μου,
Ζάναξ! Ας ηρέμησω. Όλα καλά.
Άντε πάλι αυτόν. Κάτσε κάτω, έλα.
Μπερτώ.
Μία ώρα μας έχουν ζαλίσει τα νεύρα.
Πάρτους με φέρνει το καλύτερο.
Θα έρθουν και δύο εδώ όμως.
Δεν θα σε φεστηλώσω αυτό που έκανες.
Φτάνουμε επιτέλους.
Checkpoint. Φύγε. Α, το. Shotgun. Εντάξει.
Δεν έχει κάτι άλλο εδώ, έτσι.
Και το revolver λέει κάτι δύο.
Εννοείται δεν κάνει. Τρέχα ρε, άλλο λίγο, τρέχα. Come ground. Φτάσαμε.
Yay! Finally! Oh! Bone.
Barry?
Ow! The porch is covered with birds. They've got all Hitchcock on me.
Stay out of sight. I'm on my way. Don't open the door.
What are we, crazy?
Stay hidden. I'll be there soon. Just make sure you keep the lights on.
I still had to reach Barry at the cabin, but at least I was out of the woods. I'd have to get the car from the locked garage. It would get me back to Barry faster, and the headlights were a welcome bonus. The FBI agent's command froze me in place. I considered surrender. It was all falling apart anyway. I could give in, let someone else deal with it, but it felt all wrong. Call it instinct, his posture, the way he held the gun. He was no friend. Shots ringing in my ears, I leaped for the hole in the fence and stumbled into the darkness beyond.
That doesn't sound good. Βάλε το. Βάλε. Βάλετε.
Κάτσε, εδώ πέρα γιατί πήρα. Πήρα checkpoint εδώ μέσα.
Γιατί το πάνω.
Πάμε αριστερά, λέει, κάπου εδώ είναι. Από την άλλη μεριά.
Ναι.
I had to find the key to the garage.
Γιατί είναι τόσο τουαλέτα. Oh.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
You can hold on yourself. No. No, 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 no. Γιατί 10 μέτρα έτρεξες!
Είναι σαράβαλο. Δεν είναι πια παλικαράκι όπως ήταν στα 80. Πάτα τον!
What?
Πάτα τον ρε!
Hola.
Ωραία, πιστέν.
Πάμε.
Πού πας?
Oopsie.
The flare gun was probably the best weapon I could imagine against the dark things I was facing.
No, 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 no. Έχει φως, έχει φως. Έχει φως που θα μην είχε. Please, nerd, back off.
Δεν είναι εκεί. Τι θες να ξαναπάς εκεί?
Να πω στο... Θα έχουμε έρθει εδώ.
Ναι. Όλα σου!
Ωραία, πέθανα.
Όχι!
Εντάξει, έχω κάνει checkpoint εκεί. Όση ώρα καθόμαστε στο σκοτάδι. Βάψαμε τη βάρκα.
Πάρ' ευθεία!
It was the kidnapper.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Enough horseplay, Wake. You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I don't... Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
It's not done?
I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy. The main building, there at noon. You bring the manuscript, you'll get your wife. If not, well, get me.
Yes, I get you.
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
They're taken.
Δε τι?
They're taken.
Ow, I am so glad you're here. A couple of them got in here before I blocked the chimney. This isn't normal. These birds are weird.
Άνοιξε την πόρτα! Κλέρ. Όπα. Έχεις 2 σμήνι.
Να ρίξεις και λίγο με το φακό, δεν θα φτάσει.
Κάνε φλερ. Εντάξει, θα πρέπει να δώσεις. Α, εντάξει. Πάει το κουτσουρό.
Πόσα ακόμα?
Πάλι 2 σμήνι είναι. Να. Τώρα μου νόμωση! Έρχονται.
You can open the door now. They're gone.
Τέλεια.
Hey, Al. I'm sorry for thinking you were having a psychotic episode, man.
Πού να ξέρεις κι εσύ.
I sent Barry to the town to ask around about a man fitting the kidnapper's description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Θες να το πεις λίγο αυτό σε μένα? Κοιτάξε από ματάκι και έχω δει μάτι!
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Did you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour. See you soon.
Αυτή ήταν η φωνή της Rose.
Have a great day. Hope you come back soon. Welcome to the old dear diner.
Good girl.
What the fuck is wrong with that bitch? Ήταν μεγάλο επεισόδιο.
Τρελό επεισόδιο.
Πολύ. Εκνευριστικό σχετικά, αλλά βγήκε. Πονάει μέσα μου.
Φτιάστηκες,
Φτιάστηκα. Ευχαριστούμε που μείνατε μαζί μας καθ' όλη τη διάρκεια. Oh shit.
End of episode 2. Ευχαριστούμε που μείνατε καθ' όλη τη διάρκεια μαζί μας. Ελπίζω να το ευχαριστηθήκατε όσο και εμείς. Μέχρι το επόμενο. Γεια σας.
Bye.